I am McLean. How do I look? Do I look okay? Hey, how you guys doing? It is April 29th, 2022, and it is 45 days into my quarantine. Oh boy, having fun with that. Anyways, we are just 449 days away from opening ceremonies of the Tokyo Olympic Games. Maybe, maybe not. Yoshiro Mori, president of the Tokyo Olympic Committee, announced last week that if the coronavirus extends until 2020, of course, that they're going to just cancel the Olympic Games. There's not going to be any more extensions or anything else like that. So, and I kind of agree with that, because even if we do have the Olympic Games in 2020, I mean, what are we going to still have social distancing? And all the tickets have already been sold. So, what are you going to do? Give refunds to every third person or to every 2 out of 3 people? So you have people seat in one place and then 2 empty seats and then a seat. I mean, that's crazy. And as it is, CoSport, they've only made one statement since the cancellation of Olympic Games. Now is on March 30th, pretty much saying that the games are canceled, but everything's still a go for next year. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of people aren't going to be able to go next year. They're going to have other commitments. There'll be, people are getting older and older. The average age of an Olympic fan is probably at least in their 50s or 60s, because only people who are like older or retired or in their peak earning years can afford to travel around the world to go see these events. So I don't know what they could possibly do. But I think they should maybe even possibly just cancel the games, because it's a war. Just like in World War II when they canceled the games for Tokyo and London in 40 and 44 respectively, it was because of war. And we're at war with this coronavirus, whether you want to like it or not. So they say. So, anyways, I'm going to teach you some new stuff tonight. I don't want it to be a wow downer video. So let's talk about the original Olympiad, because when I'm talking about canceling the Olympic Games next year, I'm actually thinking about permanently canceling the Olympic Games. Maybe Beijing will get one in 2022, maybe not. Paris 2024, I think I've talked about this before. Who knows what's going to be going on in Paris in 4 years. And then LA 2028, come on. So, anyways, we've been having Olympic Games for about a little over 100 years, and we can't get it straight. Either some sort of political turmoil, whether it be, the Russians boycotting the Olympic Games in the United States, or the U.S. boycotting the Olympic Games in Russia, or some sort of Zika virus or coronavirus, or some sort of terrorism, international terrorism from the Palestinians, the PLO kidnapping Israelis and then murdering them. That's just horrible. Or domestic terrorism with it wasn't the Unabomber, but it was that other bomber kid. I don't even want to remember the guy's name. But he bombed a bunch of abortion clinics and stuff too. He ended up being that bomber. Rudolph, probably. I don't even know why these names stick in my head. But, and these guys all ruining the games. And then the games, everybody focuses on the security. Half the money spent on the Olympic Games is probably for security and infrastructure that doesn't really need to exist if it wasn't for all that security. And a lot of times all the infrastructure that's built for the rich people in those countries and not for the poor people. Maybe they need to build homes and schools and hospitals in underserved communities in those countries rather than spending billions and, maybe trillions of dollars for Olympic Games. So let's talk about when the Olympic Games really started. They started in 765 BC. Okay, there's a number of people that could be attributed to starting the games, but it was some Greek people, of course. Nothing against or for Greek people, but it started in Greece, and it went on until 394 AD when Theodosius I discontinued the game. So they went on for, that's like, 1,000 years. And they had them every 4 years, and that was called an Olympiad. Right now we're in our 32nd Olympiad. If we go to Tokyo, it'll be the 32nd Olympiad. Well, can you call it really an Olympiad? Because an Olympiad's a 4-year period. And if it's going to be 5 years to the 22nd games, maybe we kind of call it something else. But anyways, if this was going on for 1,000 years, it was a common term. Like we call a decade or a century, they called it an Olympiad. Like, 4 score, and a score is 20 years. So, 4 years was an Olympiad. That's what it used to be, from 765 to 394. People didn't do it like, 4 score and 20 years ago. Was that it? 4 score and 20 years ago? But anyways, what Lincoln said in the Gettysburg Address, because why wouldn't he just go 5 score? I'd have to Google that. I'm getting off track here. Let's not do that. But let me give you a few facts about the ancient Olympic Games, besides the fact that they went on for 1,000 years. Out of all the athletes that competed back then, I was reading about a bunch of them, and I just want to share one of them, Leonidas of Rhodes. He's from Rhodes, okay, named Leonidas. And he was a runner and did stadium events. And he had 12 championships. And that was finally broken in 2016 by Michael Phelps. So there you go, right there. And he, like I said, he was pretty much a runner. And back in those days, most of the events were running or equestrian or throwing really heavy things like the discus, the shot put, and the javelin and such. So they had some running races that were called stadion races, Stadion, stadion races. And from that came the word stadium, Stadium. So that's something else we could learn today. We'll learn a few things today. But that's enough learning. Let's go to show and tell. What do you say? Let's talk about this baseball and shirt. You may have thought that was a baseball shirt, but since there's no baseball, there's plenty of drinking, right? And this was from the Canby in Vancouver. That's where I stayed, right above the Canby bar. The bar was a hostel right upstairs, and that was a gas. And oh boy, you've seen it. You've seen the videos. I don't need to go any further. But let's show some stuff from them. And some stuff I'm going to be listing soon on eBay. This is a souvenir puck and pin and little keychain. See, it's a little keychain right there? And pin. And a hockey puck. That's the back of the puck showing through. Okay? So that's a souvenir item. And the reason I'm showing you this one, besides listing it, is I got recently another souvenir puck. And this one's from Sochi, of course. And the cool thing about this puck is not only how cool it is. You can see the kind of silk screening on there. But it's the packaging that they put this in. And this is the original packaging. An original price tag. I actually saw this for sale in Sochi when I was there. But I couldn't afford it. It wasn't in my budget. And I probably didn't want to get it all messed up on the way home. And I wanted to buy lunch or something instead. But I picked this up recently, and I think it's really, really neat. And I don't think I've shown that to anybody before. So there you go. And I had some other pucks from Sochi. But this is actually a gold medal game puck that I picked up. I didn't get it. I didn't catch it or nothing. I wasn't there for the gold medal game. But it's kind of neat, ain't it? I think I've shown this before. I have a whole video showing all the different pucks from Sochi. But I thought I'd give you another look at this gold medal puck. There's the back of it. In Sochi, all the game pucks looked like this on the back. On the front, we had a gold one for the gold medal game. He had a blue one for Bolshoi Ice Dam games. We had a purple one for Bolshoi games. Blue for Shabai Arena. And then there was another blue one for Paralympic games. And maybe even another one for women's. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyways, check out that video and you'll get all the details squared away straight. All right. Oh, here's another really cool thing. This was a bottle that they gave away during the torch relay in Vancouver. Isn't that neat? Take a look at that for a second. All right. All right, I just thought I'd show you that. That's kind of neat. And one last thing I'm going to show you is, since we're not going to have Olympic Games in Tokyo this year or maybe ever, let's take a look at the last Japanese Olympic ticket that was available. And I don't think I've ever shown one of these on eBay before. I mean, on YouTube before. But this is from Nagano in 1998. It's for figure skating. Light a little bit better. Anyways, 26,000 yen it says there. It's got the hologram on it down below. And there's the backside. All the rules you got to follow, and they're in Japanese on there too. I'm sorry the lighting's not so good. And then you see the main sponsors there. Partners, they may call them. All right. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I think the world should take a break. To summarize, I think the world should take a break from the Olympic Games for a while. Maybe 50 or 100 years or something, until the wars are over. We solve global warming. And I mean, you know, to remind you, I don't know if I mentioned that the Olympic Games originally started as a cultural event. People would get together, and it was like to celebrate Zeus. Okay, that was their god in Greece, Zeus. Okay, and they would have festivals and artsy stuff and craftsy stuff, and people come from all over. And then they started having running races and stuff, and then it became a whole athletic competition. But then a bunch of politics got into it, and people wanted to exert their political stuff, and it actually got really religious at the end. And then they just said, "Ah, we've had enough of this." So, let's get our world in order, peace on earth, feed everybody, take care of the nuclear waste, take care of global warming if that exists. I don't even want to get into too much politics, but we'll still keep our world championship games, for like the World Cup. That's it. World Cup for soccer, World Cup for skiing. We could have World Cup track and field events. We could have all these different events, but just don't have 25 different sports at one time. Don't make an Olympic type of thing. Just have, figure skating championships, ski championships, soccer championships. And somehow they're going to have to change the seating in these arenas, at least for the time being. But I mean, like I said, it's all the money that they spend on security, that maybe it's just not worth it. All right. Comment below. Give me your feedback. See if you agree or disagree. Yeah, I don't know. It's just my feelings, and everybody's welcome to them. I just think, after being to these events so many times and spending wasting so much of my time going through security, and so little time talking about the events themselves and what's happening and the cultural things that I like to talk about the games. Nobody ever talks about that. All they talk about is the drama and the terrorism and the viruses and the fear. And if that's the way it's going to be, and about the transgender athletes too. I mean, this just, come on. All right. So, sayonara. Bye.